Good evening and welcome to PTC News. I'm your host, Commodores, and today we are interviewing the owner of one of the biggest groups in PTFS. Please welcome the one and only H-Tag.
Hello.
Alright, hello. Would you like to first go over, for the people who are not aware, what PRG is?
Sure. So PRG, or PTFS Roleplay Group, is a server where we host a plethora of events and roleplays like landing competitions, races, flights of varying airlines, everything basically you can do in PTFS, we host it.
Of course, taking that into account, what requirements do you have for people who would like to join?
All that they have to be is 13 plus. Anyone above 13 could join.
Fair enough. And more of a personal question here. What inspired you to go into aviation, and what interests you in that?
So in early 2022, I found PTFS again. I used to play it in 2020, but didn't really get into it. And I was like, I'm really interested in planes. It seems really cool, so I started playing it a lot. Did more on aviation. Yeah.
And of course, you've sort of mentioned it there. But when did you mainly start playing PTFS?
So yeah, I first played the game in 2020, didn't get into it, so I decided I wasn't going to play it. But then in 2022, I was like, I have an interest in planes, and I started playing it in early to mid 2022.
Yeah, and of course, now you are the owner of PRG. But were you always the owner, or were there some people before you? And what would you like to say about them?
No, actually, I am the 7th owner of PRG. There has been many people before me. So it got founded in 2022 by Sprite, which was then passed on through a couple different owners. But the two owners before me was Icicles and Tix. And they retired, and I became owner of PRG in October of 2023.
October. So you've been there for a good amount of time now. And so in that amount of time, what would you say it's like being the owner of a group this big?
At times, it can be extremely stressful, especially on busy days. Something go wrong, or we have an issue. Anything can really happen. I get lots of DMs and pings every day, inquiries, people asking me for PTFS updates. I do not own PTFS, but a lot of people think I do because I own such a big server.
Yeah, sometimes that can happen. But of course, more into that. What does the group necessarily do? Because I'm sure if a lot of people are messaging you, there's some stuff going on that they think would require your attention.
Yeah, we have a lot of partners who like to do events with us. We haven't had an event in quite a while, but we try to do a yearly air show, which we bring together a lot of the air show demonstration teams who are partnered with us to one big air show. We have tried in the past to do partner events, hosting events to do with our partners. Yeah, there's just a lot that we do with our partners. And then we also have, obviously, our just events in general, which there is a lot of suggestions that are going to us that we follow through with.
Well, moving to more of a sort of section for feedback for me and PTC, how would you say the interview's going at this moment, and anything you'd like to mention?
Okay.
Fair enough. And of course, this one, I feel like a lot of people would like to know this, especially if you've owned a group this size. Do you have any tips for people trying to grow their own server on PTFS or anything else, really?
Yes, I definitely do. When I joined PRG, there was only 8,000 members. Since I joined, I have worked on the server and doubled it. All you have to do is put your best effort into it. Make sure you're thinking about what you're doing. Don't just do stuff without thinking about it. This is a really good tip. Never be the only person making decisions. Have a team of people who you can consult and be like, is this a good idea? And if they think no, then don't do it. Don't do something that only you like.
Of course, another part of that, I feel like another thing that a lot of people struggle with when they're trying to make a server is the motivation for it. Some things keep going wrong. It's not growing as fast as they want, and they lose hope. Do you have anything for that?
With growing. Just always advertise, build partnerships with motivation. If you don't like the idea your server's based on, it's not going to work. You need something that you're passionate about, you want to do, and if you passionate about it, it'll work for you.
Yeah, I can see that. And of course, another thing that probably people would like to know, considering you said you've got like 16,000 members, what makes PRG so special?
It blew up in 2020. I'm not entirely sure why. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but we gained so many members throughout 2020 and early 2021, and it has held its title of the biggest group for a very long time, which is a very good advertiser. People are like, oh, huge group, this has to be the best group out there, so they join. It's advertised all across PTC. It's just that's how it grew so much to get so big.
Yeah. Did you have any inspiration, like anyone else, any other groups you may know, like to mention, that inspired you, gave you some ideas maybe?
Well, there was a group that I'm not actually sure what it is now. I'm not entirely sure, but there was a couple groups which I have obviously been in, seen ideas, and I'm like, this is great, and I take it and I change it up. I always try to not, obviously we're not copying, but always take ideas and use them in our own. I also had a lot of friends along the way, like our co-owner Tiger Starlighter, who recently retired, and like some of our managers, Forrest, Sammy, all those kind of people who have always gave me inspiration to do what I can.
And I think linking into inspiration, sometimes people will be inspired with an idea and they will have good intent for it, but they may make it a little too close to what that thing, and then people think they are taking that idea completely. Do you have any advice for people when it comes to that, to not completely rip that idea, but sort of use it in their own way?
Make sure you always add your own twist to it. So say you see an event style or something, you just add a twist to it, you change the name of it. Make sure if it is kind of close to the idea you saw, you credit whoever you got it from, be like, this idea is from blah blah blah, or yeah, just make sure you're always crediting and not trying to make enemies with it.
Another question that probably linked to another. How active would you say people in PRG are? Like, they join an event, like, and they're all doing it?
To be honest, it's not the best activity though. We still have a good 3,000 people looking at the server every day, which is a good like 6 of our members. We have 1,000 people who chat every day. Most of our events do almost fill up to the 20 member capacity. It is hard though, obviously, because all of our different members are all in different time zones. They all have lives of themselves, so they can't always join our events. But in events, everyone's active. It's great.
An idea that a lot of people struggle with getting to work, I've seen it firsthand. I'll join a server. They will have a very good server. Server looks very nice, but they struggle to get people active. They struggle to get people to actually want to commit to it. Do you have any advice for getting members to commit to that group, promote some activity?
PRG definitely has its struggles with that as well, but to conquer that, you always want to have actively giving away, like doing giveaways. It doesn't have to be Robux or money. You could do it in like an in-server currency, like points with a bot or a role, VIP, something like that. Always be actively posting updates, what's happening in the server, be doing constant events, make game nights even. That it'll all keep your server active if you're actively committing to doing all of that.
Now, a bit of retrospective. Looking back on when you first started, did you ever expect for PRG to get so big and for you to be the owner of it?
I definitely expected PRG to be big. I didn't expect to be the owner though. I knew from the very first day I joined, I want to be staff of the server. Because when I joined, there was a lot of issues with the server, a lot of Discord-sided issues like permissions, vulnerabilities in the server, honestly. And I was like, I want to fix this. I climbed the ranks extremely fast. So I got host 4 months there, 4 months here, 4 months there. And it grew like wildfire. And I was like, oh my God, I got staff. And then one day the owner, Tix, was like, I want to retire, and he promoted me. So I did not expect to be owner there.
Yeah.
It was very big of a shock.
So for anyone else that's sort of looking to go in that sort of path, the same as you did, smaller server, same size server, bigger server, regardless, how would you suggest they go about getting from where you started to where you are now without, you know, putting too much on their real life or not putting enough into the group?
Definitely be as active as possible, but always put your real life first. You just be proactive, be constantly suggesting ideas to the high rank staff, because they will see you're very proactive about the server. And to be honest, it would be a bit of luck for you to get that high, depending on what the owner is like. If the owner of the server is there for a long time, feeling like a retire, then you have an opportunity. But if it's a new server where the owner is not planning on retire, you probably won't get owner, but you can always go really high up the ranks. Just be proactive, and yeah.
All right, so we're probably running out of time soon, but is there anything else you would like to add? Anything you'd like to tell anybody that watches this?
Not much, but I do have to say, if you are starting a server, you're always free to come ask for help, boosting your server, partnering with us, anything like that. But yeah, don't give up trying to. If you can't grow as big as us, it's okay. Not a lot of Discord servers go that big.
All right, well, that's probably going to be the end of that. Thank you for watching the interview. My name is Commodores, your host with PTC News, and this has been the H-Tag, and thank you for watching, and have a great day.